What is RAG, and why is it probably what you actually need? If you watched our last video on training versus prompting, you learned that when business owners say train AI on our company data, they don't really want training, they want something else. This is that something else. Let's dive in. Here's the reality most businesses face. You've got hundreds, maybe thousands of documents, product specs, policy manuals, support articles, procedure guides, meeting notes, technical documentation, all this valuable company knowledge scattered across various systems and formats. And then you've got AI, which is incredibly powerful at understanding and generating language, but has absolutely no idea what's in any of those documents. You can't just point ChatGPT at your file server and say, learn all this. That's not how it works. So you're stuck with this gap. Your knowledge exists, AI exists, but there's no bridge between them. Copying everything into every prompt clearly doesn't scale. Training your own model costs millions. There's got to be a better way. Quick recap from our last video on training versus prompting. We learned that training the model is too expensive and impractical for most business use cases. Even if you could afford it, training happens once and your information changes constantly. That's not a solution. We also learned that copying your data directly into prompts works for small amounts of information, but you hit a wall fast. Context windows are limited. You can't paste your entire knowledge base into every conversation. So what you need is a way to give AI access to your documents automatically, efficiently, and accurately. Something that scales to thousands of documents, works instantly, and doesn't require you to become an AI researcher to implement. That's where RAG comes in. RAG stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. And I know that sounds like someone threw technical jargon into a blender, but I promise the concept is straightforward. Don't get hung up on the name. The term matters way less than understanding what this technology actually does for your business. In fact, you might hear vendors call it different things: semantic search, intelligent document retrieval, AI powered knowledge base. They're often talking about the same core concept. In the next few slides, we're going to break down exactly how RAG works in plain English. No jargon, no assumptions about technical background, just a clear explanation of what's happening and why it solves your problem. Here's what RAG does in one sentence. It automatically finds the relevant parts of your documents and includes them in the AI's context when you ask a question. Think about what that means. You ask a question. Behind the scenes, a system searches through your entire document collection. It identifies which document or sections are relevant to your question. It pulls those specific sections out. It includes them in the context that goes to the AI. And then the AI responds based on your actual company information. You get accurate answers grounded in your real documents without manually searching, copying, or organizing anything. The system handles all of that automatically. This is the aha moment for understanding RAG. It's not magic and it's not training. It's intelligent automated document retrieval combined with AI's language understanding. That combination is what makes it so powerful. Let me give you an analogy that makes this concrete. Think of RAG like having a research librarian working for your AI. Without RAG, here's what you're doing. You need to find information in a library, so you personally read through every relevant book, take detailed notes, summarize the key points, and then bring those notes to the AI and say, here's my summary, now help me with this question. It's time consuming. You're limited by how much you can manually process, and you might miss relevant information that you didn't think to look for. With RAG, it's completely different. The AI has a research librarian. You ask your question, and that librarian instantly knows which books to pull, finds the exact relevant sections, and brings them directly to the AI. It's automatic, it's fast, it searches your entire collection simultaneously, and it often finds connections you wouldn't have thought to look for. That's the fundamental value proposition. RAG gives AI the ability to navigate your knowledge base intelligently, just like a skilled librarian knows where to find what you need. All right, let's get into the mechanics. RAG works in 5 steps, and understanding this flow helps you evaluate solutions and design systems that actually work for your business. Step 1, you ask a question just like you would with any AI system. Nothing special going on here. Step 2, the system searches your document collection. It's not searching the entire internet. It's searching your specific documents that you've loaded into the system. Step 3, it finds and extracts relevant information, not entire documents, but the specific sections that matter for your question. Step 4, it assembles a complete prompt, your original question plus the retrieved information plus instructions for the AI. Step 5, the AI responds using that complete context. It generates an answer based on both its language understanding and your specific company information. Let's walk through each step in detail so you can see what's actually happening. Step 1 looks completely normal from your perspective. You type a question. What's our return policy for enterprise customers? Or which product works for manufacturing clients? Or how do I reset my password? This looks and feels exactly like using ChatGPT or any other AI assistant. There's no special syntax, no technical commands, nothing different in how you interact with the system. This is actually one of RAG's biggest strengths. The sophistication is invisible. You get the benefits of intelligent document retrieval without any additional complexity in your workflow. The system handles everything behind the scenes, which is exactly how good technology should work. Now, here's where the magic happens, and you never see any of it. While you're waiting for a response, we're talking milliseconds here. The RAG system is doing sophisticated work. First, it searches your entire document collection, and we're not talking about simple keyword matching like you'd get with Control F. Modern RAG systems use semantic search, which means they understand meaning and context. If you ask, how do I reset my password? It knows to look for documents about password resets, account recovery, security procedures, even if those documents don't use the exact phrase, reset my password. Second, it identifies which documents are actually relevant. Your question mentioned enterprise customers, so it prioritizes documents that discuss enterprise policies rather than consumer policies. It's making intelligent decisions about what matters. Third, it extracts specific sections. It doesn't grab entire 100-page policy manuals. It pulls out 3 paragraphs that actually answer your question. This is crucial because context windows are limited. RAG maximizes the value of that limited space by being surgical about what it includes. All of this happens in under a second. You never see the search process, you just see the final answer. Step 4 is where everything comes together. The system builds a complete prompt that gets sent to the AI model. That prompt includes 3 key pieces. First, your original question. Second, the relevant experts from your company documents. The actual policy text, the spec sheets, the support articles, whatever's relevant. Third, instructions telling the AI to base its answer on those specific documents and to cite its sources. This assembled prompt is much larger than what you would have typed, but it stays within the AI's context window limits because RAG was selective about what it retrieved. Instead of trying to cram your entire knowledge base into the context, it included only what mattered for this specific question. This is the connection back to our video on context windows. RAG doesn't eliminate those limits, but it helps you manage what fits by being intelligent about what to include. Now the AI has everything it needs to give you a great answer. It's got your actual company policy from the retrieved documents, so the information is accurate. It's got its natural language understanding, so it can explain that policy clearly and conversationally. And it's got your specific question, so it knows exactly what you're asking about. The result is an answer that's both factually grounded and well articulated. It's not just regurgitating your policy document word for word like a database query would. And it's not just making things up like pure generative AI might. It's combining retrieval accuracy with generative AI's communication abilities. This combination is why RAG has become so essential for business AI applications. You get the reliability of search plus the intelligence of AI generation. Let's talk about what this looks like from your perspective versus what's actually happening. What you see is simple. Ask your question, wait a few seconds, get an accurate answer. Clean, effortless, and straightforward. But what actually happened involved 6 distinct steps. Question submitted, search across your document database, retrieval of relevant sections, assembly of complete context, AI generates response, return formatted answer, complex, sophisticated, automated. This contrast is important because it shows why RAG has gained so much traction. All that complexity, the search algorithms, the relevance scoring, the context management, the prompt engineering, it all happens invisibly. You get the benefits without the burden. This is good technology design. The user experience is simple while the backend does sophisticated work. You don't need to understand vector databases or embedding models or semantic search to benefit from them. And RAG isn't always necessary. Let's talk about when it actually matters for your business. Consider RAG if you're dealing with large document collections. Think 100 plus documents or extensive knowledge bases that are impossible to search manually in real time. That's when automated retrieval becomes valuable. Also consider it for frequently changing information. If your policies, procedures, or data update regularly, RAG lets you keep everything current without retraining models or updating templates. You just update the documents, and the system automatically retrieves the new information. Multiple people asking questions is another good indicator. If you've got teams or customers who need instant access to accurate information, RAG scales effortlessly. One person or 1,000 people can query the same system simultaneously. And finally, if your information is too large for prompts, if you can't reasonably paste everything into a conversation, RAG handles this by retrieving only what's relevant for each specific question. If you're nodding along in two or more of these scenarios, RAG is worth exploring. But let's be honest about when RAG is overkill because sometimes simpler solutions work better. If your information fits in a few pages, just copy it into your prompts. A few paragraphs of context don't need sophisticated retrieval. Create a template, paste your info, done. This works great for things like pricing sheets, basic policies, or style guides. If you reference the same information in every conversation, include it in your system prompt. No need for retrieval when you always use the same content. This is perfect for brand voice guidelines or standard operating procedures that apply universally. And for one off questions where you know exactly what document to reference, just paste that document directly. RAG's overhead isn't worth it when you're only doing this occasionally. The key is being honest about your scale and frequency. RAG is powerful, but it's not always necessary. Start simple and add complexity when you actually feel the pain of manual document management. Let me show you what this looks like in practice with a customer support scenario. A software company has 500 support articles covering everything from common questions to complex troubleshooting. Support reps need instant answers, and customers want self service options through a chatbot. Customers ask, how do I reset my password? The RAG system searches those 500 articles, finds the password reset article plus related security information, and the AI provides step by step instructions from the official documentation. The value here is massive. Support reps get accurate answers without manually searching through hundreds of articles. Customers get immediate help through a chatbot that's grounded in real support documentation. And response quality stays consistent because answers always come from approved content, not from reps' imperfect memory or AI making things up. This scales effortlessly as your support library grows. 500 articles or 5,000. Same system, same speed. Here's a different scenario. A manufacturing equipment company with 50 plus detailed product specification sheets. A sales rep needs to quickly match products to customer needs during calls, but memorizing every spec isn't realistic. A rep asks which product works for manufacturing clients with high temperature requirements. RAG finds spec sheets for industrial products rated for high temperatures, and the AI summarizes three relevant options with key specs and differentiators. Sales reps can respond to customer questions in real time without putting the call on hold to search documentation. They get accurate technical information from actual spec sheets, which builds customer confidence. New reps get up to speed faster because they have instant access to product knowledge that took senior reps years to accumulate. This isn't about replacing sales expertise, it's about augmenting it with instant access to technical details that nobody can reasonably memorize. Let's talk honestly about what RAG can't do because understanding limitations helps you design better systems. First, RAG can only find what's in your documents. It's a retrieval system, not a knowledge creation system. If the answer isn't documented somewhere, RAG can't help. This means your document quality directly impacts RAG quality. Garbage in, garbage out still applies. Second, RAG depends entirely on search quality. If your search algorithm can't find relevant content, the AI will answer based on irrelevant information. This is why semantic search matters. Keyword matching alone often misses relevant documents that use different terminology. Third, RAG can't fact check contradictions in your documents. If you've got two policy documents that say different things, RAG will retrieve both and the AI might give conflicting information. This isn't a RAG failure, it's a content management issue. These aren't deal breakers, they're just realities to plan for. Good document management, quality search implementation, and regular content audits address these limitations. Before we wrap up, let's connect RAG back to everything we've covered in previous videos, because this shows how all these concepts fit together. RAG is still pattern completion at its core. We learned in video 1 that AI completes patterns based on what it's seen before. RAG doesn't change that fundamental mechanism. It just gives the AI better context to work with. The patterns it completes are now based on your actual documents instead of just its training data. RAG still has context window limits from video 2. It doesn't magically eliminate these constraints, but it helps you manage what fits by retrieving only relevant sections instead of trying to cram entire documents in. RAG reduces hallucinations from video 3 by grounding responses in source documents, but it doesn't eliminate them completely. The AI can still misinterpret retrieved content or fill gaps with generated text. Source documents help tremendously, but aren't a perfect solution. And RAG often uses agent workflows from video 6. The retrieval step might be one tool in a multi-step agent system that includes reasoning and action steps. Understanding these connections shows how RAG fits into the bigger picture. It's not replacing other concepts, it's working alongside them. So when you're evaluating RAG solutions, these 5 questions help you understand what you're actually getting. First, how does the search work? Keyword matching, semantic search, or hybrid? Semantic search typically works much better for natural language questions because it understands meaning, not just matching words. Second, can I see what document it retrieved? Transparency matters. You need to verify the AI is using the right sources and catch when retrieval fails to find relevant information. Systems that hide this are harder to trust and debug. Third, how do you handle document updates? If your information changes weekly, you need automatic reindexing. Some systems require manual re-uploading, which defeats this purpose. Fourth, what happens when no relevant documents are found? Does the system admit it can't find information, or does the AI try to answer anyway? Honest, I don't know responses prevent hallucinations and build trust. And fifth, can I control which document it searches? You might need to segment by department, access level, or topic. Not every user should search all documents for security or relevance reasons. These questions separate good implementations from problematic ones. So that's it with RAG. This is part of our Making AI Make Sense series where we break down practical AI concepts for business leaders and decision makers. We cut through the jargon and explain what's actually happening and what it means for your business. If you found any of this helpful, subscribe for more educational content like this. We've got previous videos on pattern completion, context windows, hallucinations, agent workflows, and training versus prompting. Each builds on the others to give you a complete mental model of how AI actually works. And if you're considering implementing RAG for your business, whether you need help evaluating your use case, designing the right solution, or actually building the system, we offer consultation services to help you navigate these decisions and implement solutions that work for your specific situation. Check us out at eauclairai.com. We're Eau Claire AI, your path to AI made clear.